We're back, baby.
Dude, we're back.
Holy crap.
It's been a while.
It's been weeks.
I haven't watched a movie since we watched Four Lions. Didn't think I'd bring that up that quick, did you? I didn't either.
I don't think I have either, actually.
Which is really weird because you know me, I typically am, even without you, I'm watching something.
Yeah.
But I've just been wrapped up with doing stuff for social media, for myself and business and work, and taking on some new projects. And I know you've been busy.
Yep. That's how it goes. Glad to be back, though.
Yeah, it's all right being here, you know? Watching a good movie and
This is a great movie.
talking the old days.
This is a fun one.
I'm Bo,
I'm Dan.
and tonight's movie is Back to the Future, directed by Robert Zemeckis. But when I was growing up, I always thought it was a Steven Spielberg movie.
Did he write it?
I think he just produced it.
Oh.
I remember watching this movie as a kid and just loving a lot of the things about Back to the Future.
Yeah.
I love skateboarding. I love that he played the song Johnny Be Good, and I wanted to do it at a talent show when I was a kid. The kind of arbitrary scene, but still cool because it's a movie where Doc builds a little model of the city and they do the wind-up car with the electricity and the car goes past and starts on fire.
I agree.
It's everything about the movie, as a boy, I was like, this is so cool.
I agree. The amount of personality that this movie has is insane. You could pack 16 different people into one person and they would have less personality than this movie.
That's a good analogy. Yeah. And I mentioned after the credits started rolling, I was like, that's such a tight movie. The pacing, it just, once it starts, it's just boom, off to the races till the end of the movie. I was expecting, when he went back in time, at some point, things would slow down and there would be almost like a let up or kind of boring part.
Yeah.
And it never hit.
I totally agree.
And I was kind of waiting for it, and it just keeps going and going and going.
Yep.
In a good way. It wasn't like Dark Knight Rises. It was just keeping the plot and story moving forward and the characters and their development. Just a fun time.
I agree. Don't you dare say Dark Knight Rises again. I'll give you a freaking wedgie.
Poor Christopher.
He sucks. No, I totally agree. I think the movie is really tight, and you're not wondering what time it is or how far along is the movie. It's just scene after scene, you're really interested. And the CGI they use in this movie is so spared. You barely get any CGI. And so everything they did, they filmed. And that's what I'm coming to love more and more about older films, is that they don't have the ability to do all the CGI. So you actually have to be creative,
right,
with your characters, with their lines, with the dialogue, with the story. All of it has to be good, tight, for the movie to be enjoyable, because you can't supplement with big explosions or CGI fights. And yeah, this movie is a cultural, such a huge cultural moment. Anybody who grew up in the 80s references this movie constantly.
No, it's true.
My dad doesn't like movies at all. He references Back to the Future all the time. He always talks about flux capacitors.
Yeah.
And McFly and riding a skateboard and grabbing a truck and then riding the skateboard behind it.
Yeah.
That was stuff that I never watched the movie as a kid, but my dad would reference Back to the Future all the time. This is a massive movie, and it still is, and you can see why. It stood the test of time. I would say this movie was better than most movies that have come out in the last 10 years. It was very good.
Watching it tonight was better than your experience than the last decade of movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. There's a few that are definitely
some exceptions.
Interstellar is amazing.
Yeah.
And that came out in 2015. Rogue One is also very good. There's a handful of other ones, but this one is just it is.
But it can go pound for pound in a boxing
exactly
match.
This movie was made in '85 and it's still so good. And I laughed my head off. There's so many funny lines and witty remarks, and then also kind of
character
randomness. And you're like, what the heck? Why did they? That's so fun, you know.
Yeah, some lines that are constantly coming up in my life are like engine running, flux capacitor fluxing, or just like
Where we're going, we don't need roads.
I probably say that one way too much. But
I've heard that one said so many times and I didn't know what it was from, and now I do.
Really?
Yeah. Again, that just shows that like
it's just
this movie is such a
culture.
Yeah, it's a massive cultural touch point, and you don't even have to have watched it to know McFly or Back to the Future or Doc and like the crazy looking car and the DeLorean. Like it's just stuff it's in the air.
Yeah, it's just in the culture. Do you need some water?
Yeah, my voice is a little scratchy, huh?
It is a bit scratchy. Well, is there anything you want to hit or you want to ask me before we jump into spoilers?
Is there any movie news?
Movie news, man. We haven't touched on movie news in a hot minute.
I know the Daily Wire is coming out with a TV show called the Pendragon Cycle.
Oh yeah,
and it's all about Merlin, and it's supposed to be like mature, kind of like Game of Thrones-esque. And I'm actually pretty excited about that.
Yeah, I thought it looked pretty cool. I was a little worried actually that it might be too mature. From the trailer you sent me.
It might be.
But I just feel like I don't know. That's where I think it's funny, where like I always think about like conservatives being more conservative than like progressive people with like content, but then they're really not. With like as far as content goes.
I felt the same way about Lady Ballers. Did you watch that movie?
No, I never did.
It was really raunchy.
Yeah.
Like they pitched it as like this is gonna be like a comedy to bring back comedies, and I was like, it was funny, but it was nasty. They had like a bunch of sex jokes and a ton of like really, really nasty, raunchy things that they were bringing up, and it was like, you guys are supposed to be taking back the culture, not like
running with it. Where it is. Yeah, that's what's interesting about it. But I do remember I sent you a trailer for a show called, or movie, I think it's a movie, maybe not a show, Young Washington. That is being like distributed by Angel Studios.
It looks sick.
Or produced maybe. Yeah, it looked really good actually. There's some good creators out there making some cool stuff. Like, I don't know if you ever watched it, but it actually is very good production value. What's it called? It's the David and Goliath show on Prime. Maybe it's just called House of David. I think it's called House of David. But like the production quality and the storytelling in it is really good. Really, really well done. And I want to say it's by like the same studio that did that, like called like Wonder Project, I think. I think they're doing the Young Washington movie or show. Yeah. But yeah, looks good.
I think it looks awesome.
So yeah, check that out, fans. If you haven't, look up Pendragon Cycle and Young Washington.
We talked about Tron, right? We already dumped on Tron.
I don't remember if we talked about Tron, but it came and went after I saw like the second trailer. I never wanted to see it, so I never did. And it got terrible reviews.
Yeah, people did not like it.
Yeah, pretty dumb, from what I hear. And then in slightly off. Unless you have another movie news.
No, I just have some lines from the movie, so you can
great.
Keep going.
I was just going to mention really quick, because we have to, because we're huge fans. Halo Campaign Evolved was announced. And I know this is a movie podcast, but culturally speaking, this game is just as big as any movie that's probably come out.
That's true.
Yeah, crazy. They're rebooting, kind of, I guess, remaking. And honestly, a thought that I heard recently, which was my same thought that I don't think I've really talked to you about, was I was hoping for more of a reimagination rather than just a reskin.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
The more they can do that in a positive way, I think the better.
And we'll see how much it actually is the same. Because I know that like the demo that they showed was very just like the first level, that they were just trying to show off the graphics.
Yeah.
But allegedly they have a bunch of different levels, different weapons, different enemies, different encounters. Like they have like reimagined quite a bit. But we'll have to just wait until it comes out.
For sure. But yeah, if you're a movie fan / Halo fan, you probably already heard all about it, but just fun stuff. So we've been keeping up to date on the news on that, getting a lot of insights into it. So if you want to talk Halo ever, maybe we'll do something on that, or you can DM us or whatever. But yeah, I guess on with the show, and we'll get into spoiler territory, huh?
Great Scott! Great Scots! The Doc is such a wacky character. He's so weird.
He's character is exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, he is just flamboyant.
Yes. And it never really explains how he's related to Marty at all, ever.
Like, just like how they're connected, like how they know each other.
No, it's just like...
I actually thought about that during this movie. I was like, but then it didn't make sense because stuff doesn't change in the present until he goes back in time.
Right.
But I was like, oh, is this why they're friends? Because he goes back in time and they become friends?
Right.
And then, so in the future, it's like, that's why he's like, hey, kid, let's be friends, you and I.
I wonder if that is the reason.
I kind of feels that way, but then, like, with the logic of the time travel in this movie, that doesn't make sense because then Marty would already have his, like, nice truck and things, too.
I also have, like, major issues with Marty coming back to the future and his parents, like, are talking to him and they don't realize it's the same person.
Right.
Because if you knew someone in high school and then you had a kid that looked exactly like him and they were both
named him Marty.
No, it just whatever. It's a very minor.
They should have had his name be something different.
Yeah.
You look too much like this kid.
I thought it was funny that she called him Calvin Klein. Like, that to me, like, made sense.
Yeah.
But
I'm surprised they didn't just go with that. Like,
yeah.
Like, he should have just been like, yeah, that's my name, Calvin.
Yeah.
And instead he goes back with
There's
Marty.
a few moments in the movie that you're kind of just like, oh, that's kind of silly. Like, that's kind of a goofy thing they did. But who cares? Because it's a good movie, you know?
Yeah.
You can get away with a lot when your premise is awesome. And that's what I love about this movie is, like, it jumps you in the first 5 minutes. You like Marty. He's a cool kid. And you really don't like Marty's dad. You're like, wow, Marty's dad is an absolute dweeb.
Yeah.
He's such a freaking dork. And so you're already, like, really interested in his life. And then the time travel gets introduced in, like, 15 minutes. Like, it's not one of those movies where the cool event happens, like, 30 or 45 minutes in.
Right.
It happens, like, right off the rip.
You're right.
A lot of people don't like the first Lord of the Rings movie or the first Star Wars movie because of that. Because it just kind of takes a long time to build.
Yeah.
And I get that there is, like, kind of a critique with that. But I also like it when it's a little slower, but I feel like I really like it when it is quick. And they do that so well in this movie. They introduce you to the characters, and then it's like, boom, time travel.
Yeah.
And they jam so much into that first 15 minutes, too. And then for the rest of the 2-hour film, they're calling back to things that they set up in the first 15 minutes.
You're absolutely right. And
which is
kind
awesome.
That's kind of a rule I learned with filmmaking, is they say never put anything in the third act that you didn't already introduce in the first act. So, like, yeah, your first quarter of your movie or your script should already contain everything that's going to be referenced in the last.
Yeah. And they do that so good. The clock tower, the kiss, the dance.
Panning in the flyer with the lightning strike.
Yeah. All that stuff. And then the truck that he ends up getting.
Right.
The skateboarding, like the mayor run.
Yep.
All that stuff,
Black
like,
Mayor.
all that stuff is, like, built up in the first 15 minutes and you don't really realize it's happening.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, this is the world. And then it's like, oh my gosh, there's the kid who wants to be the mayor.
Yeah, and part of the reason that it's so organic is because they don't tell you a lot of it. They just show you it.
Yeah.
Right? So it's very, not a lot of exposition.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, like, built in with, like, even just the very opening shots of the movie, you get a sense of what's going on. It's like, okay, there's clocks everywhere. And it's like, that's weird. And then there's, like, inventions and gadgets. It's like, okay, this guy's, like, an inventor or scientist or something, right? And then Marty comes in, and I was going to get your thoughts on this. Like, we probably see him for, like, upwards of 2 minutes before we ever see his face. So it's a very slow introduction, which is like it's a movie storytelling method, right? Where you slowly introduce the main character. You don't just show him right off the bat. Trying to think of a movie we've watched where they do a slow introduction. Maybe I'll think of one. But yeah, so thoughts on that, where, like, you come in, you see his feet, and then he's walking around.
Yeah,
I think little mystery, like,
I like
this guy.
I was actually going to mention that, like, I think they did a really creative job of filming, like, the Einstein machine that opens up the can, and then, like, you see his legs in his skateboard, like goes and then it hits the plutonium.
Plutonium.
Because
Yeah.
you saw in the news as well that plutonium was stolen.
Right.
And then you see that the plutonium is there and it tells you a whole story.
Visually.
Yeah, visually in it. You didn't even have to hear anything. I guess the news does help, but still seeing the skateboard hit the plutonium. And it's like, what the heck does he have plutonium here for? And then Marty just, for some reason, you know, he's putting up all this stuff, and then he just hits the guitar and it shoots him back. And it's like, what was that for?
Just had to, I guess, introduce another thing that he's a rocker and likes music.
And it's a great introduction to somebody. Right.
Maybe that's why they're really friends, because he's like, you can make me a sweet big old amp.
Mm-hmm. I think this might be jumping ahead, but my favorite scene is definitely the Darth Vader scene.
Oh yeah?
Gosh, that scene is so funny.
Is it that scene, or also the scene falling right after on its hill where he's telling Marty about his experience with Darth Vader?
Darth Vader came and visited me
punch.
from the planet Vulcan and said if I didn't ask the Skrillex, he'd melt my brain.
Yeah.
That scene's so great, dude.
Oh.
And it's so good because
he's so serious about it.
It's a callback to a thing that was out during that time, but they wouldn't have known about it in the 50s, so it's like so perfect.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that scene. It was so funny.
And he's just mixing and matching. It's Darth Vader, it's Star Trek with Vulcan, and
listening to Van Halen, and he doesn't know what it is because it's the 50s, and he's like, this is scary.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's a great scene. 1-2 combo right there.
I love that scene. It's interesting to see Biff too, like Biff with George in like the first opening scene where he's like bullying him and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then like you see again back when they were in high school, and
it's like exactly the same.
Yeah, George's character. It's funny because like the question that we asked, whose story is this?
Yeah,
this is almost George's story, because I think that he might actually have the biggest character arc in the whole movie, because I think that like Marty doesn't really change.
Don't think so?
Maybe he does.
Well, let's ask the questions. Whose story is? Let's just say it's Marty's. What does he want?
What would you say?
I would say Marty wants, like he wants to be a musician. He wants to go have a relationship with his girlfriend.
Yeah.
He wants to feel like probably like be a little different than his family.
Uh-huh.
Because his dad's a nerd and gets bullied.
Yeah.
His mom's a drunk. His brother's not really doing too much with his life. Like, he works, that's good. But, it's just a very blue-collar job.
Yeah.
And his sister doesn't have a life.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel like he really wants, like, a different life than his family.
Yeah.
Because he even says to his girlfriend, like, one day, Jennifer, like, he sees the truck.
Mm.
It's like he wants to, like, be somewhere else and be someone else. Kind of. But I think what he needs to realize is, like, he also struggles with the same things George kind of struggles with, which is self-doubt.
That's true.
Being afraid to like put yourself out there and being rejected. Even though in some ways he's like tougher or stands up for himself more, he's also afraid of rejection.
Yeah.
Afraid of people not thinking he's creative or good at what he does.
I would have liked if instead of the last scene being him seeing the truck and then directly going to the future.
Mm-hmm.
I like that scene. I think they should keep it, but I think there needed to be a scene in between them with Marty going and sending his record in.
Yes, I agree.
Because that would have actually completed his arc. Because if his arc is, I'm afraid to be rejected, I'm afraid to be a nerd, I'm afraid to be a loser, so I'm not going to do anything about it.
Yeah, but I'm afraid to do anything about it, kind of thing, almost.
The completion of that would be, here's my record.
Yeah, I like that. I actually think that would be a good addition.
Yeah.
I guess one could argue, I don't know if they knew they were going to be making a sequel right from the bat. I don't know. But
I don't think they were, because it came out 4 years later.
The silly thing about the sequel, we'll just... spoiler if you haven't seen the second Back to the Future.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, never mind then. I won't say it. maybe that's partially why, because there's some things with him and his family that... Yeah. But... Do
they just go to the future? 30 years from
they do go to the future, yeah. You've never seen Back to the Future 2?
No, this is the first time I've seen this Back to the Future the whole way through.
Okay.
So this is...
Okay, yeah. Well, welcome to the show.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Dude.
The second one's definitely not as good. And yeah, you probably should just leave it at this one.
Okay. Well, maybe I will.
No, you can see the second one. It's just some things I don't like about it.
I mean, it's pretty hard to like catch the magic once, like, if you have it once, you know?
Yeah.
If you've got a really good movie and it kind of like ends, it's really hard to like boot it back up.
Really, I mean, just from looking at movies and watching sequels, like, it's rare to get a really good sequel or one that's better than the first or as good as the first.
I totally agree.
I mean, there are examples.
Batman.
Batman got Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings
kind of
was
one
supposed
story.
to be,
Yeah, exactly.
It was intentionally supposed to span that time
I
period.
would say like Toy Story 2 is a really good movie.
I agree.
You know, the first one's a good movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's examples. I can't think of all of them right now, but
Shrek.
Shrek 17.
Better
than the second one.
Better than the 15th. But everyone agrees the 13th is the worst.
Halo 2. Just kidding.
True.
Halo 2 is a great story.
Great story.
Yeah, we'll talk about that another time.
Best story.
Terrific story.
No one's got stories like Halo.
The Arbiter is a great introduction.
Nobody's stronger than Chief.
We call him Alien Arbiter, at least I do. I wouldn't say it to his face, but I'd call him that.
He's got swords, energy swords. We call him bling bling zappy swords. That's what I call him. No one likes it.
He doesn't like it when I get on his case about believing those fake prophets, but he bought into it. He bought into it good.
The Covenant. Great group, tremendous people.
They needed showing who was boss, so I
came
sent the
into our
chief.
country legally. So I said, bad hombres, get them out.
Gotta take out the flood.
The Covenant are bad hombres. They're sending us their worst. They're emptying their prisons and their jails.
I told them if they send any shipments our way, we will bomb them. We will shoot them out of the air.
I said to the brutes, you'd be in jail if I was president.
The Covenant taking over the universe. I would have done it sooner. I would have done it quicker.
The Covenant didn't respect sleepy Joe Biden. They respect me. Everyone respects me. Prophet of regret. He only regrets invading Earth.
Oh, I could go all night with this bit. Oh, man.
Trump and Halo would be so funny.
Yeah, man. So,
That's our president, by the way.
yeah, love him. Gotta love him.
Comedian in chief, dude. What on earth?
Comedian in chief. That's a great bit. Dude. Anyone who doesn't think he's hilarious is just...
You have to be, like, deranged to not hear him and laugh.
Right.
He's just funny. Even if you disagree with him, like, the stuff he says is just so absurd. Who talks like that?
Nobody's smarter than Elon. It's like, okay. Well, I guess that's just the facts now.
I've got people. No one's got people like me. I know people. No one knows more about the Bible than me. I love the Bible.
I saw a clip the other day from him talking to Rand Paul, and Rand Paul was saying how, like, we can't have a president calling people names and doing this and that, and he's like, I never called you a name, and look, trust me, there's plenty of material.
I never made fun of his looks, and believe me, there's plenty of subject matter, that I can tell you. This finger up.
Like,
and then in the same debate, he says, Rand Paul shouldn't even be on this stage. He has less than 1%.
Less than 1%? What?
Of the polling
Oh.
when they were doing the debate. In all fairness, Rand Paul shouldn't even be here, okay? So funny.
Okay. Back to the future.
Back to the future.
Back to the future.
Back to the future.
Yes, sir.
We were talking about whose story was it, and you were making the case that it is Marty's, and I think I agree. But the case for it being George is also extremely strong. Because George was a wuss. He had no balls, no cojones, couldn't talk to anybody, has no friends. But eventually he's able to, like, realize how strong he is, and he's able to actually become the man that he needs to be. And then you see that a lot. Like
he gains his confidence.
And you see like his mom is thin when she comes back. They're happy with each other. They're flirting with each other.
They're more successful, and he's putting himself out there as an author.
Right.
Yeah, and his kids have a better upbringing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say like you're probably right. It is Marty's, but it seems more like obvious that it's George's.
Yeah. Which in a lot of cases, I think that's a lot of cases with the protagonist, as we've discussed stories, it's sometimes harder to pinpoint what their arc is or what their changes. I mean, we've discussed in pretty much all the movies we've talked about and tried to. Whose story is this and what do they want? What do they need? And do we care? And it's sometimes like, well, it's hard to put a pin on it. But I think that in some ways is a good thing. I know sometimes you like where it's like straight up. But for me, if it's too obvious, it could almost just be like a message, like, do this.
I agree.
Right?
It does have to have some subtlety, or else it does become like preachy.
Yeah, there you go, preachy. I'm kind of blanking for a second.
I think the clock tower finale is pretty awesome.
It doubles down on everything. Speaking of that, like, I want to get your take on two things. We'll talk about the clock tower, but I also want to talk about how we get George's like moment where he stands up against Biff.
Yeah.
And you think, okay, like he's gaining his confidence. He's like becoming the man. But then some other nerd comes on the dance floor and cuts in on his dance. And it almost seems like he's going to back down.
Yeah.
But then he stands up for himself again. And that kind of fully completes it. And I think these are tied together. What I mean by that is the movie really doubles down because it's like things progressively get worse and worse and worse in the sense of like tension. It's like George goes out to the car thinking it's going to be Marty. It's Biff. Oh, crap. Biff starts to beat him up. Oh, crap. He's losing. The girl can't even help him. She tries to help him and she gets knocked down. It's like, shoot, this is getting worse and worse and worse. And then he knocks him down. So it's like, okay, we got some relief.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, now there's another kid cutting in on the dance floor and Marty's disappearing.
And even before then, the music guy hurts his hand. So they're not going to be able to have the kiss.
Right.
So Marty has to jump in and stay even longer.
Good. You're catching even more than I did. But yeah.
You're catching even more than I did.
Welcome to
my cookie.
Welcome to the Quickie Mart.
Sorry.
I just ate some Indian food tonight. Some tikka masala. So it's okay. It's okay. I love the Indian food.
I had a little bit of curry tonight.
But it's like constantly putting the pressure on to think like, oh no, it's not going to work out. So we get to the dance and George stands up for himself. Okay, Marty's alive. He doesn't disappear. But then he goes out to get to the clock tower trying to warn Doc, and then you can kind of pick it up from here with what you were going to say about the clock tower.
Yeah.
But more problems keep escalating. The cable, car's not starting. So the movie really keeps pushing like,
I agree.
This isn't going to work.
Yeah. I think that this movie like could have just gone like the humor kind of goofy, funny route. But it, like you said, like it actually like at the end, I was feeling tense.
Stressed out, huh?
Yeah. I was like, fetch, are they going to be able to click it all together and the tree falls? And Doc gets it right at the right time, and you're like, oh my gosh. Yeah. And then when he finally gets back to the future, he drives over, his car isn't working, so he has to run over, and the terrorists get Doc, and you're like, crap, like, what's going to happen?
And you go back farther.
Yeah. But then, it all ends up being okay. But I do think that they did a really good job with the tension. I think that was really good.
Amen. Yeah. Good job, Robert Zemeckis.
It was a cool idea. Like, I don't know that many other movies that have, like, time travel that do it as well as this movie does. Because, like, when you're in the 50s, you feel like you're in the 50s. You really do.
It's cool that it's, like, also... It's, like, the same town. And you see the differences of, like, what life is like. And they're very subtle things. Like, even when Marty pays for his coffee, like, you see a sign that's, like, 5-cent coffee.
Yeah.
And, like, he throws down a bunch of change. The camera doesn't focus on it. There's no insert shot. But the guy just walks up and takes the nickel, and he leaves the rest of the change on the table.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know why, like it's 5 cents.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not, 75 cents.
That's true. And then the scene where like the black guy says, I want to be mayor. And the guy scoffs and he says, a colored mayor?
Not in my town.
Yeah. And it was like, you hear that and you're like, wow, that's jarring to hear. But it's like, it's 1955.
Yeah. Got
like, that's not even an uncommon, like that wasn't an uncommon attitude anywhere.
Right.
In the country, really. And yeah, I was just like, wow, you really feel like you're back here and all the girls are wearing dresses. None of the girls are in jeans or pants.
Yeah.
And all of them have that like 50 kind of like hairstyle.
Yep.
And
got the cars.
And like when he does play that really like crazy guitar song, they don't like it.
Right.
They're like, what the heck is this? Yeah. This is like inappropriate.
You went too far, man. You can't.
Yeah.
You can't. What do they say? Like you can't like introduce too much too fast.
Yeah. And then he says, your kids are gonna love it. And it's like, that's a good point. Like what one generation thinks is bad and like shuns, the next generation will oftentimes totally grab and indulge in. And it's interesting too, because like I was expecting this movie to be
cord, man. The devil leads you by a flaxen cord.
Exactly. I was thinking this movie was going to be like, it's in the 80s. It's probably got some like good values, and it's got like probably like, it's just like an old timing good movie, right? And I'm going to show it to my kids. But it like still swears a lot. It has like a lot of sexual innuendos. And it's like, even in the 80s, 40 years ago, sex was still something that was like pretty common to talk about. Mm. And it's like, yeah, just the idea that like cultures slowly degrade over time morally is shown in this movie.
Yeah.
Just him playing that music was like too offensive for them.
Yeah.
But just in 30 years, it's not.
Right.
And then you look at us, 30 years ago was 1995.
Ooh. Yeah.
How much was not acceptable then that is now? But slowly, like, it does seem that morals... But it's interesting, too, because you can also look at it from, like, the race perspective, where we have made a lot of progress on race. We don't say, well, I don't want a colored person being my mayor. It's like...
Colored mayor?
Yeah, like, that was just common. So it's like, well, it's good we don't have that attitude anymore, but then, like, the attitudes towards, like, what kind of music we listen to, how sex is seen, alcohol consumption, cigarettes, like, that kind of stuff. Like, I don't know, it's very fascinating to see how cultures will start a trajectory and just kind of, like, because they still, like, even today, like, there is a morally correct thing in our society, and there's a morally incorrect thing in our society. We've decided that racism is, like, the worst thing on the planet, right? But we don't view...
I mean, I don't think that's the worst thing on the
planet. Yeah, but we don't view sexual...
Killing people is probably...
We don't view sexual immorality and abortion as bad.
Yeah.
We don't. Like, every single TV show promotes sex before marriage, sex all the time with whoever you want, and if you get pregnant, abortion's not a big deal. Like,
right.
And somehow, like, we said, okay, racism is bad, and we're like, yeah, we agree with that. But it's like, sex now is good before marriage. And so there's always going to be like a morally right and wrong, and your culture will just pick which one it wants. And anyways, that's kind of a longer way to say it's a good thing to have a consistent moral compass, because the culture of any given moment will be lacking in something.
It's interesting though too, like with this idea that, like, in the beginning of the movie, Marty's mom is like, I would never do that as, a kid. Like, I never tried to talk to guys or call guys or, like, park with guys or, like, anything, like, all these things. But it's like, you see her back then, and it's like she was an absolute, like, boy chaser, boy crazy.
Yeah. The way she treats Marty.
She objectifies him.
Takes his freaking pants off.
Right. In her bedroom, grabs his leg under the table.
Yeah.
And so it's just like, well, I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
But it is funny that way, where sometimes the past is romanticized or glorified. We're like, yeah, we didn't do that when I was a kid. But it seems like that never was the case.
Yeah.
It seems like, I'm not saying things aren't in some ways worse morally in our society than they were in the 50s or the 90s or other times. But I think there's always been the darker side of, like, whether it's, people being scandalous,
racism,
or drugs or drinking,
or racism.
Yeah. now we've come full swing where it's popular to be racist again. So
true. We got to be really careful with that. How about we just get along with each other regardless of what you look like?
I wasn't going to bring this up, but I'll just say it really quick.
Unless you're ugly.
I am what would you call it?
Ugly phobic.
Yeah, I do judge people by how they look. It's not their color of their skin, it's just whether they're attractive or not.
The face, the shape of their face.
I did see a Charlie Kirk video really quick where the kid was like, I'm not representing a black kid. And he's like, hold on, I just don't think you should be concerned about being represented. You should care about whether someone represents your values. Like, who cares? Like, this guy, so-and-so, he looks like me, but he doesn't represent my values, so I don't give a fetch if I don't want him to represent me. But if someone else that represents my values and looks different than me, then I'll support him.
Yeah.
Because why does it matter what color someone's color skin is? Like, especially for a public office, they're representing what you want as a society and as a culture and as a town or a place, right? So it should be all about what they're trying to do and what their beliefs and values are.
Yep. Amen.
Amen.
Well, I think this movie is a legend, obviously.
Absolute legend.
Very, very much. I think it's probably an 8. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd give it a 2. Never gets old with that bit.
Always funny. Every time.
Yeah, 4-star. It's easily an 8. I think I'd probably fall on 8.5. I think it's very tight, very well done, very well acted. Well, I want to ask you this as we close, but I'm sticking with 8.5.
Okay.
Everyone's kind of
You're
infatuated with Marty, particularly his mom. And I know there's the whole Nightingale thing, but even other girls kind of seem to be a little swoony over him.
Sure.
Maybe it's just because she is, but do you feel like he deserves that kind of attention? As far as, like, he's not, like, very big or imposing or even extremely handsome. Does he deserve the hype of the girl love?
I think like the first scene when he's just like sitting in her bed, you kind of think that he does because she's never experienced the touch of a man because she's like,
it's the 50s.
Yeah. But then as the movie goes on, you see that she's kind of a hoe.
Yeah.
And she like, maybe I shouldn't say she's a hoe because there's no evidence that she is because she does like kind of.
She does say she's parked before.
Yeah, that's true. So I take it back. But she like shoos off what's his face?
Biff.
She shoos off Biff and she says, I'm a good girl, don't do that.
Right.
You know, so it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But clearly she's had plenty of experience with men, so she should not be acting like this.
Yeah.
If this is like not her first guy, like, yeah, he's pretty short, he's not that imposing, but over time he does do some like absolute Giga Chad moves.
Right.
Like when he punches Biff.
Yeah.
When he like
outwits him and his friends on the skateboard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
he's masculine.
He's very masculine. He's very capable.
Yeah. Yep. He knows how to talk to women.
Mm-hmm.
He even gives George tips on how to approach women.
Yeah.
Like, this is what women love. Like, they love that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Say nice things.
So I think that even though he isn't like super formidable physically, he definitely is like he's a unit. I think he'd get girls. He's very confident.
Like, he may not be a warthog, but he's a mongoose.
He'll
get the job done.
He's not a Gauss hog.
Yeah, he's more like a mongoose with maybe like a rocket launcher on the back.
Yeah, like
passenger.
You could take out a wraith or two.
Yeah, if you got chief driving.
But if the scarab level is like, really, you give me freaking mongoose.
That level's pretty dope.
That is a sick level.
We got all the guys on vehicles.
Yeah. But I think it's partially justified. But height and looks is not everything for girls.
Yeah.
Like, girls like men who are protectors. And I actually, one of my favorite lines is she says to Marty, she's like, I would want a man who's strong, who can stand up for himself and protect the women he loves.
Yeah,
he loves.
Yeah, the woman he loves.
It's like, wow, right there. That's something that we don't have today. Is like that message is not sent to men. Like, hey, you need to be strong and capable and protect the women you love.
Instead, I'm walking to the gym with girls that are burlier than me and walking
just
like they want to punch my lights out.
Yeah, or just watching movies where the girl doesn't need no man to protect her.
Right.
I don't need to be protected. I'm strong. I can beat up men on my own.
Well, that's what I'm getting at, though. That like that message and things that's like that's promoting what I'm seeing out in the world. In the gym.
Women becoming more masculine. Yeah.
Yeah. Not realizing like, oh, you know what I'm actually attracted to, and that's gonna treat me well and protect me and stand up for our family.
Mm-hmm. And can stand up for himself. They want the protector.
We're capable of bench pressing them if they laid across them.
Dude. Oh, when your house light's on fire, do you think your wife wants to come and pick you up?
Exactly.
No, she wants you to pick her up and the freaking kids and the dog and be capable of busting through a fetching wall.
Yeah, kicking the door open that's locked from the outside somehow.
Yeah, exactly, because the freaking terrorists.
The freaking Libyans, dude. They're back. The freaking libs. Not the libtards, the
Libyans.
The
Libyans. Are you a conservative or are you a Libyan?
Oh,
freaking Libyan tards.
Thanks for joining us on Real Legends Podcast. And yeah, it's been fun. Make sure you share this with a friend. Like, follow, subscribe, and comment, especially so we can hear your takes on the show. We'll read them. We'll talk about them. But yeah, it's been great. So if there's nothing else, then we will see you at the cinema concession stand.
Catch you on the flippity flop.